Hi, this is Matt, and I've got another mad idea for you. Tonight's mad idea is another one from my wife, Lori, the person who gave the pipeline idea for water as compared to whatever other garbage we want to put around. And this idea involves nursing homes. It also involves animal shelters. Now, one might think that you have a nursing home on this end of town and an animal shelter on this end of town, and they kind of have rather disparate needs and wants. But in reality, some of the things that they have are so well tied together that it wouldn't be a bad idea to have your nursing home over here and your animal shelter over here with the soundproofing around the nursing home, and make it to where there is a constant interaction. So if you have this kind of thing, how does it benefit the people? Because most people are people-centric. What it does for the people as they're older and they're somewhat limited in their mobility is it puts them in a position where they can interact with animals. Interaction with animals, as it turns out, there have been studies that will back this up, is good for people. As a matter of fact, older people who have animals in their lives have a much better quality of life, as well as a certain amount of extra quantity, because it gives them purpose. It gives them a sense of family, a sense of belonging. It gives them something to nurture and take care of, which are very good things for anybody. For the animals, it helps get them socialized. It gets them to interact with different people. It gets them to interact with any people, because some of these places, they don't have the staffs to sit down and play with a kitty, multiple times within a day, where if you had a group of old people who were coming through on a constant basis and scratching his head, this cat's having a much better life. Furthermore, some of these old people actually want to do something with themselves, but because of their limited physical health, cannot do that much. It would be very important, though, if you have a 1-year-old cat, for someone to comb him out and make him look pretty, because he's much more adoptable that way. For someone to walk a dog, a little dog just needs a walk, and you've got, say, an 80-year-old person who doesn't walk very fast, and the little dog needs his walk, they might be a good team up together. For even more vigorous activity, if someone wants to take the hose and wash out the pens if they're inclined, or they have an actual staff member do that. So, very good for the animals, very good for the people. Now that's my wife's mad idea. I was thinking, because if we're going to have something like this, maybe a further extension of this idea wouldn't be bad, kind of like a social services mini-mall, if you will, in which you have, here is the old folks home, here is the animal shelter. Keep in mind there would have to be soundproofing on the old folks home. Dogs get a little loud, And over here might be a social services center. And in that, you would have job finding and in exchange for toys. You drop off your old toys, you can pick up some new toys. You could also have an exchange for clothing. As a matter of fact, you could have it to where these young people who need a job, not necessarily young either, some in their 50s and 60s, might get advice or counseling from some of the older people who actually were employers or managers or other people who are just good employees and can say things to these people they need to hear, like, don't show up to a job interview dressed like a hobo, or take a bath before a job interview, or clean your nails properly, show up on time, be courteous, smile, weird little things that some people just don't seem to know. And then it occurred to me, you could actually have a restaurant on the campus. Why a restaurant? Well, first off, these people are poor, in all likelihood. They're at least living off of a very limited amount of money, because if they have a lot of money, it's going to go away eventually. So a limited income restaurant would benefit these people. You also have families coming in to look at dogs. Now, when we went looking for our dog, we took our kids along. And with the kids, you have to feed kids. It's almost a constant supply of food. So you can go in, you can look at the dogs and cats, you can go talk about it in the restaurant. Then you can go back and maybe even pick one up as far as a dog or a cat goes. then as a furtherance to that, you have more interaction with the old people. As a matter of fact, if it's during the lunchtime, you have a situation where the old people are actually part of a community again, which vastly improves their lives. They're no longer shelved away in a filing cabinet. Because to be honest, the difference between a modern nursing home and a cage pen for an animal is very small in a lot of places. Now, a lot of nursing homes are trying to make improvements, so I don't want to bag on those, but a lot of them are still back in that old age death camp, basically. Now, it would be nice to see these things improve, because remember, one of these days, you might be the person in that nursing home, or it might be your spouse, or maybe even your kids when you've passed on. So it's something to think about as a way to improve things. And in the meantime, if you have an opportunity, most nursing homes accept volunteers, most animal shelters accept volunteers. So if you can go out and do one or the other, that would be great. Thank you again for taking time to listen to, in this case, one of my wife's mad ideas with a few amendments of my own.